Hello, comrades and cadres. This is the Engelsist here, joined by Niall, Red Fenian Punk. Say hiya.
Seriously, go the card, yeah? I got some camaraderie.
Yeah,
Hello.
lovely to have him back on for some more news. I'm probably going to make this into a series just because it's very easy and also very important to make sure that you're all aware that there's many things in the world going on that aren't shown to you,
For
and
sure.
nobody likes reading the news, so we'll do it for you.
For sure.
You know,
For
but
sure.
so the first one is about Britain and the current doctor strikes that are happening. I
Yes.
forget. It's Medical Director Stephen Powis has said that it will cause unparalleled levels of
Yeah.
disruption, and they're
Yeah.
concerned about patients. And it's not that they're not concerned about, oh shit, we might actually have to pay a decent wage to our NHS
Yeah.
workers,
They're
you know,
concerned
and
about
not
patients.
completely fuck them. Patient concern. When they were
Lovely.
giving when they were giving PPE contracts out to fucking people who'd never
Yeah.
done it in their life and were manufacturing yoga mats before that. Such concern for the patients when they were fucking
Yeah.
rushing people out of mental hospitals into like
Okay, in the
um
community, they called it. Yeah.
carrying the community. Such
I remember
care for
that.
patients, just
Yeah.
incredible empathy.
I can also vouch for having witnessed the fascistic, eugenic mentality of the benefit
Yeah,
system, having been in it myself and had friends who were in it much deeper than I was, and the brutality, the humiliation of these ATOS tests, and the money that goes into that to try and kick people off the sick. I mean,
yeah.
they
Oh,
go on about patient care. The fucking the gall of them grinds my gears, to put it politely.
Lo-
You know.
like they're so concerned about it.
Yeah.
When they're clearly concerned the fact that we're having a fucking general strike for the first time in history.
Like nearly 100 years. Yeah,
Nearly
1926. I think
100
was the last one.
It's the first time all nursing unions have agreed to go on strike at the same time. This in history, never
That is
before in
actually
any part of like the British Isles. Period.
the
I
Western
think
European
even in
archipelago,
Ireland.
I prefer to call it. But anyway, yeah.
I don't know. Um, it's better than Britain.
Yeah, British Isles was a bit of a dodgy one with the Irish.
It is
You
it
know,
is
not
it's
nice.
complicated. But
Yeah,
then again, it's like the Middle East is complicated. Like the
I call
Middle
it
East is
Western
a big
Asia.
fucking place. Like
Yeah,
it's just I have American viewers and shit. So
yeah. I tend to clarify Western Asia, better known as the Middle East. I tend to say that when I'm
yeah.
talking with people
Well,
internationally.
we're all learning. We're all like
Yeah,
we're
for sure.
fixing our language over time.
Aye,
Um,
aye.
like we've had times where like you've had a family member. I had one of them go, "Oh yeah, the capital of China, Peking." Like it didn't fucking change
Oh,
decades back.
oh God, yeah, yeah.
Like it's stuff like that. Oh yeah, the capital of Africa is Cape Town. Like fucking
Africa. Oh Jesus Christ. I grew
like
up in the I grew up in the Irish diaspora in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and it was. Is there like guns and bombs everywhere in Ireland? No, no, no. You do know there's like a split two statelet thing. You are really? Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Like, okay, there was one time where there was a massive fucking sympathy protest in Dublin, but like
Aye.
there was only a few like petrol bombs thrown. It wasn't anything
Yes.
like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
It was not like in fucking. It was not like it was in Derry and fucking
No,
Belfast.
nothing like it.
Far,
The,
far
the worst.
from it. It's like France now.
Yeah.
That was how the extent of that protest. Like,
Yeah. I mean, Dublin was more the biggest problem in Dublin was more like drugs and knife crime than there was
yeah.
bombs and Molotovs and guns and whatever. You know, there were more guns.
There was a few big sympathy protest, like
Oh, sure.
empathy protests
Sure.
in the 70s, but still, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, I'm looking like a bloody
but
Nero man in
no,
the 80s.
they're fucking they're frightened because like in terms of the right wing, Sinn Féin have won massive in both parts
Yes.
of Ireland.
Yeah.
There's a general strike going on. They're losing money. They're losing popularity. They've lost three prime ministers. It's
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah,
And currently the British establishment has put up fucking Keir Starmer as an alternative, and everybody fucking hates his guts.
everybody,
Like,
even the
like
sock Dems hate him.
at,
You
at
know.
the end, it's like, and Social Democrats, like you always get some of them just because there's people who aren't educated on politics, but
Yes.
generally aren't cunts.
Yeah.
Like aren't monsters.
Sock bash, as we call them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like they can quickly be led
Suckers.
into like worse thoughts, but yeah, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's clear to see that the British political system has gone, oh shit, we are so fucked.
Much like Germany did a century ago, kind of.
Yeah,
Not the same, but it's a similar. There are similarities because
there are
capitalism goes through these cycles.
there are similarities, but it's like, and we're getting to the point because honestly, like if this was France, they would have stormed the capital by now. Big up
Aye,
everybody in France who's protesting though. Solidarity to you all. But
absolutely. Pour mes amis en
it's
France.
we've been pushed so far
Yeah,
that we have to rebel, and
Britain
there's
is
no
very. Britain compared with France is extremely docile. I mean, it's all that
yeah,
old culture of I don't want to make a fuss. Oh, I just want to hide and just get on with it. And if you
and yet
do
and
want
yet
to make
like
a fuss, they attack you. You know, there's a
and
much
yet
more
and,
right wing trend here. I
and
think.
yet when fucking those people go over in Europe, we're known for getting fucked up, drunk, and fighting people in the rest of Europe on holiday.
Yeah,
Like if you go to Magaluf or anything, they'll like constantly.
never been, but I know people who have and people who come from those areas. And yeah,
Yeah.
cringe, absolute cringe.
To the next story, because just to say solidarity to all NHS workers or stuff like
Absolutely.
that.
I wish
Great,
people were
you've
more.
done an incredible job so far,
I
especially
wish,
compared
yeah.
to the past protests.
I wish there was more protests here. I mean, you know, they all talk about it online about being like the French, but they never do it. If the minute you go out and do it, they go, "Oh no, 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 you can't do that. You might get arrested. We don't want to do that." And we want to get the Labour Party back into power, and the Labour Party condemn them, and blah blah blah. And it's like,
But
oh, yeah,
it's the cycle of being partially a part of the establishment. At the
yeah,
end of the day, the NHS is a government-owned thing, and the government is affected by the government that you have in power. And more than
yes,
that, it's affected by the establishment of politicians.
sure,
But
absolutely,
in saying that, you honestly, all of you train workers, all of the NHS workers, you've done an incredible job, and I
bloody hell.
commend you for that. Round of applause.
Damn right. I've even gone whenever the post came. I've often said to them, "He's on strike next week." When it was going on in December, you know, I think it was December time or January. I forget.
If if any people are around, or you've got friends, you've got family, do it. Make them sandwiches. Like you
Yeah,
can do very simple things, but just
yeah,
like congratulate them, go out with them. If not, hell, make them sandwiches, bring them food, bring them
yeah.
coffee. It's anything,
Even
even
when,
stuff
like I
simple
said, the
is a
posties
good.
coming, posties came to
It,
my door. It was like, "Get in, nice one, thank you know, good
yeah,
for you."
and
Yeah,
also let them know if the cops are coming or if they're
yeah,
uniform.
for sure.
Also, trust me, if you're in enough protests, you'll be able to see a non-uniformed officer. Like it's not that
Oh,
hard. Look at the stern guy who looks like fucking who almost looks like Henry Rollins' cop brother. Like the
yeah,
guy who's
that's the
like
one.
the guy who's like punk, but like not the guy who tries to look like a punk, but he looks too stern faced and
Yeah,
looks like he was in the military.
yeah,
That's
that's the one. Yeah, usually
yeah,
got a hammer in his hand, smashing windows and offering
yeah,
you weapons. That's another one.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So stick away. Don't do anything stupid,
We've all
and
got
just help each other.
we've all got mobile phones now, so we can video them, so people can actually see that they exist, and it's not a
It's very
conspiracy theory. It's
it's
true.
it's very funny. Some of those videos. Some of those
Yeah,
videos are like,
I think
they're
the
like,
first time.
we're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution. That video of that girl is fucking hilarious.
I've
Like it
forgotten.
kills me.
I've seen that many of them. I lose track, but yeah,
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you
yeah.
because it's incredible.
Please do, please do.
So quickly to pivot to Armenia and Azerbaijan
Mhm.
and more conflict. And do you hear that? The drumming in the background.
It's probably me tapping my feet. Sorry.
Ah, no worries, no worries. Um, But Armenia and Azerbaijan, there's been some more escalation of the conflict. If any of you forgot and don't remember from 2019 in the Trump presidency, yeah, Armenia and Azerbaijan went back into conflict. And
Yeah,
and it's sort of been glossed over since Russia Ukraine started. But like it has happened, and on it and don't it's a war. Don't fully
yeah,
pick a side, but like in terms of this standing, Armenia have been a repressed minority
yeah.
forever, like genocided multiple times, stuff like that. So my, it,
1915.
I think that this is a problem of um, the nation state construct and the idea of countries that we have now, because
Yes.
during the time of the Soviet Union, the borders were not hard between the Soviet Union. Everything was mutually think. And I think it's the same thing in Ukraine, where
Yes.
Ukrainians and
I said
Russia
that.
could be fine with having their borders thing because it was nebulous, because it was a concept of a greater
Yeah.
expanse. So, sure, you have a home, like a place that you called home, and that was in a country. But like the border regions were more nebulous, which I think was a real positive thing. And
In
we've
that
seen the
context, for
aftermath
sure.
and we've seen the aftermath of this in Armenia, Azerbaijan, and in Ukraine, Russia. And
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'd like to see the United Kingdom breaking up, but that's because it's a bourgeois major imperial power. The Soviet Union
well,
is not.
the foundation of Britain and the foundation of the Soviet Union are very
To-
fucking different.
radically different. Totally different. So
There
yeah.
was a lot of problems colonially with the USSR, but
Yeah, in the later years,
that's
especially.
like that's and that was its own problem. It used a lot of
Yeah.
soft power on a lot of surrounding places, which
Yeah.
I do condemn.
Nothing.
But
Nothing's perfect ever. There's no
but
perfection.
like compared to Britain, the founding of Britain, like one of the most colonial constructions that
Oh, yeah.
period, period, it's the most colonial construction. Like
Think.
there might be a few more places. Spain's got a few problems with
Oh
its
yeah. You know, the
think
Basques, old
yeah,
allies,
but
of course. Big allies.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the shit like that. But in
Yeah.
terms of comparatively, there's very few places that are as colonial as fucking Britain as a concept
Yeah.
is.
That's what.
But
There's a reason. There's a reason English is so commonly used, and the USA has a big influence on that too. But
of
even that
course,
comes from the Britain, and so does Australia, South Africa, Zimbabwe. I mean, it's
yeah.
English is spoken across the place. The British.
Rhodesia now Zimbabwe, but
Yeah,
Rhodesia
yeah,
was
yeah.
like
Oh, fucking terrible! I remember it. I remember the last year or so
oh
of Rhodesia's
one of
existence.
my one of my family's mates. He's from South Africa,
Right.
and he's a white lad. He's all right. He was a
Yeah,
bit.
they're nice ones.
He had a rough bringing up. I
Yeah,
will
yeah,
say he had to accustom to a lot of stuff over here.
yeah.
But like it'll sound bad, but he's okay. His uncle was a Rhodesian cop in the fucking
Oh,
70s,
oh,
60s, 70s, and I was like, you know what? It sounds bad, but I almost want to sit down at a table with him because I need to know how racist this guy is.
I,
I want to
I
know
can,
how racist he could possibly be,
I can
because there's
vouch. I can
because there's
vouch
white
because
Rhodesian citizen, and then above that there is white Rhodesian police
fucking
officer.
copper. Well, I
Like,
don't even like to admit it, but there was some of my extended family who I don't have anything to do with that went out there, and
yeah,
they've actually fallen out with many of our family because of that extreme racist views they had.
yeah,
I've
but
known, yeah,
as a police officer though, that's fucking
that's one of the worst.
you've got to be so racist. The
I'd say,
amount
yeah, pretty much.
I'm talking like Nick Griffin squared.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Oh yeah,
mean
they probably think Nick Griffin's too soft. In fact, I've
yeah.
spoken to the two. I think it was a distant or a cousin of mine who was some. I think he was around at the time of the war. I think I think he was in the military, and he was
Ooh,
to the right
ooh,
of most of the far right in this country. I mean,
yeah.
fucking. He
Well,
believed that.
Rhodesia was an apartheid state
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, he hated. He'd snarl with rage anytime a black person appeared on the TV, and they're a different species and this kind of shit. I mean, you can imagine me.
Horrendous,
I was
horrendous.
only a kid when I met him, and I couldn't stand him even as a 12-year-old. I thought, yeah. So yeah,
But what I wanted to say is that so my heart goes out to Armenia and the people who
Sure.
are struggling
The
there.
history they
I
have.
I also, people who are sent to war on behalf of Azerbaijan. I hope that there's not too many casualties of young people in general.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's still war is hell, and we should
yeah, I mean,
never.
working class people are always the pawns in these
Yeah,
bourgeois conflicts, and
and
it's not
it's
like
important to
Azerbaijan bad,
remember.
Armenia good. Sorry, I'm talking over you. Sorry, mate.
N- No worries. Yeah, it's Azerbaijan is a more victimized nation, which is why the stance.
You mean Armenia is?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Armenia is the more victimized nation,
sure. Yeah,
which is historically, which is why obviously we have a bit more empathy towards
sure,
it. But like we have to remember that the people who are fighting are not the ones who started the war, and
sure.
that I honestly, uh, my heart goes out to any draft dodgers,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
I
Particularly
hope
the
that this can be
Azerbaijanis.
and I hope that this can be resolved in the favor of the liberation of Armenians, because this attack
Sure.
was started by Azerbaijan troops.
Well, I mean,
Actually,
Azerbaijan's an ally of Turkey, which is not technically the Ottoman Empire anymore, but it is a far-right ethno-state. I mean,
yeah,
it
and it
banned the
did
Kurdish language
genocide the
until recently.
shit out of Armenians.
Then they're calling out Armenians. I mean, look what happened in 1915, the notorious, the infamous genocide, which
Yeah,
was a blueprint and an inspiration to Hitler in the Holocaust.
yeah.
If you mention that, I believe, I don't know if it's changed, but as I understand it, if you even mention that, you're looking at a life sentence in Turkey,
In
and
Turkey.
that's certainly how it used to be. I don't know if it still is
Well,
or not.
The thing is Erdogan runs a soft dictatorship, and I think
Everyone's a, yeah, everyone's a piece of shit.
people fucking pretend like that Turkey's this like bastion in the Middle East, and it's not. Like
Utter crap.
it's fucking like it's. Listen, Turkey's a lovely place. There's a lot of
Yeah,
good things about
I met,
Turkey,
I met
but
lovely people from
its
Turkey.
government structure is a fucked
Terrible.
dictatorship, and people are pretending that it's not a fucked dictatorship.
I look at it this way: all countries are beautiful places, and people from them. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
I bash the Russian government. I bash the Ukrainian government.
yeah.
This, the working classes of those. I bash the Polish government. I have some of my good mates. I used to live with a house full of them, and they're close friends. They had as much disdain for the Polish government as I did.
No,
I hate the British and the Irish governments, but technically I'm a citizen of both countries, and I love people
what
from
I'm
all of them.
saying
So
is
just to clarify that.
Turkey is a particular pawn that's used to
Oh yeah,
launch proxy wars, like
oh
which
yeah.
is why the Turkish government's so dangerous. Is what I'm
They're
saying.
Yeah, I mean it's like it's another one of those little proxy or what you call them imperial outposts. Israel,
Yeah,
they can play the race card. Like Israel plays the anti-Semitism card, and they call Jews, particularly Holocaust survivor Jews, who
some
call them
Turkish
out.
could
They,
play it. Some Turkish
yeah,
people want
Turks
to be
can do.
considered
They,
white and European, though.
they can, yeah, but they can still play the Islamophobia card, even
Yeah,
and
they
there is a
can
lot, there
play
is plenty of
Islamophobia because that's not a race thing. Whereas some Turkish want to be considered white. It's
yes,
complicated.
it's very,
It's
very definitely.
complicated.
I've noticed that. It's very strange. It's kind
Yeah.
of what you call Eurasia. I mean, the whole thing of Europe and Asia.
It
What do they mean, and where do they?
it
Yeah,
is the dividing line of where Europe stops generally. That's what it's
pretty much.
considered.
I mean, a lot of countries in that region are like Armenia, Georgia, Chechnya, and Azerbaijan. They're very much European in some ways and Asian in others. They're kind of a strange fusion. But yeah, it's a very strange. It's a fascinating place for that reason alone, and not to mention other reasons besides. But yeah, another thing that we have to mention as well is that conveniently with all these wars, there's our Azerbaijan is more Western friendly. It's certainly pro Turkey, which is very Western friendly. They want, of course, they want that region because it's rich in oil, as it's
Yeah.
mentioned in the Al Jazeera article we looked at. It's very
No,
much,
absolutely. Well, and that's why they launched the invasion first, and they stake
yeah,
claim over the territory, which isn't necessarily historically theirs.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's a bit complicated, like Ukraine and Russia, the
yeah.
former. There's a
Well,
lot more
that's the
nuance to
thing
that.
because the borders didn't exist for 70 years. So,
Yeah,
like everything got a bit, yeah.
sure.
But if it's fine with you, I think we've said our piece, and
Yeah, yeah.
uh, Thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe or give a like. I'd appreciate that. Please go subscribe to Red Fenian Punk.
Please
And
do.
I'll hope that we can do this in the next couple of weeks. Just
For sure.
stay knowledgeable. See you, comrades.
Take care. Slán go fóill.
Slán go fóill.